Welcome back. I'm BJ Triplett, and this is where we run down the shenanigans going on in Portland, Oregon. So, good morning, Portland. Let's get started. Good morning, Portland. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today because, as you know from living in the Portland area, for the last year now, we've had nothing but riots and ongoing unrest in the streets. The downtown area looks like a third world country that's been war torn for the last year. And now, all of the sudden, Ted Wheeler, who before marched with the rioters, he got gassed with the rioters, he was told in no uncertain terms by the rioters that he had promised that it was going to be a sanctuary city for BLM and Antifa. And now Ted Wheeler wants to know who these people are because the ongoing riots and everything is drove off a lot of business. His police force is to a skeleton crew at this point because Portland police are retiring in record numbers, leaving the force. And now Portland mayor asks residents to help unmask people behind the violent protest. Let's go ahead and read this story. It's really, really interesting to watch as the city of Portland turns into a shithole. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler on Friday asked residents to help unmask the people behind the violence and protests in recent weeks, which grew in fervor after police fatally shot a white man in Letts Park. What he's saying, they want to burn, they want to bash, they want to intimidate, they want to assault. Wheeler said Friday in a video statement referring to the violent protesters, our community needs to resume their lives. People need to go back to work. Employers need to be able to reopen. I support the police using all legal strategies, including kettling, which basically is you grab all of their flanks and you push them towards the paddy wagon and just do mass arrests. Our job is to unmask them, arrest them, prosecute them. Well, yeah, your lead prosecutors are letting them out of jail, Ted. So how are you going to get around that one? Mr. Schmidt up there has decided that I'm gonna talk about something that happened about 5 years ago. to somebody that I actually know. I met him at a rally um, up near Astoria, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk about that. But let's just keep reading. Our job is to unmask them, arrest them, prosecute them. He said, I want to personally thank neighbors, family, friends, and others who have come forward with vital evidence. People know who these criminals are, they know what they're up to. This is the same mayor that had his police force deputized because of the quote threat of violence from the Proud Boys, and the Proud Boys had their little rally and left. And then Black Lives Matter and Antifa immediately began burning stuff down, and Mayor Ted Wheeler was caught off guard because their newly deputized police officers were actually picking people up and charging people with federal crimes. And then Mayor Ted Wheeler came out and said, no, 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 don't do that. Don't do that. No, 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 no. Oh, no, we can't do that. The amount of absolute hypocrisy that it takes to deem one group of people a threat who literally just came into town, had a little rally, waved some flags, and left, and then protect the people that are burning out the city of Portland is phenomenal. And yet, you have people still defending Black Lives Matter and Antifa. It is absolutely amazing. It kind of reminds me of in 2009 when CNN was on the ground there when we were having our little Tea Party marches. I will never forget this. One of the reporters for CNN or MSNBC one, she was like, "Well, they're getting violent. They're getting violent," and we all just started laughing at her because it was an obviously play for emotion. It was obvious that she was looking for clicks, and she was lying through her teeth. We were just walking by, and she started chiding people for thinking that taxes are too high. Well, Barack Obama's going to lower your taxes. Well, no, no, he was going to raise the capital gains taxes, which basically cuts the middle class out of day trading, and he was going to raise all of the taxes on business, which lowers the amount of money that I make or that I could make possibly in the future. And we were trying to explain that to her, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Murder! Oh God! Oh, they're getting violent! They're getting violent!" No, but those same people will stand in front of a burning building with people throwing rocks and bricks and Molotov cocktails at police, watching it all happen, and go, "Well, these are mostly peaceful protests. They're mostly peaceful." Are you out of your mind? And Ted Wheeler, for the last year, has been protecting Black Lives Matter and Antifa from the police officers that he is supposed to lead because he is the police commissioner. And now he wants not the police. No, no, no. He wants you. You know what's going to happen to you. The jurors in the Derek Chauvin case knew what would happen to them if they didn't come back with a guilty verdict. Their houses would be burnt to the ground. These people are crazy. They're not normal. They don't think normally. And I would hope, because Portland used to be such a pretty place and it used to be such a cool town to go and visit and hang out in. We used to go and ride the beer buses, and you could really have a great time, a great day in the city of Portland. And now it looks like a war zone. Now it looks like somebody has dropped a bomb on Portland. It's a war-torn country at this point, and Mayor Ted Wheeler wants your help. And everybody knows that if you go against these people, they will burn your house down with you in it. He's putting more people in danger by not doing his job and not allowing the police to do their job. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Police officers, if you're in Portland, they've already had record retirements, people resigning. They can't get their recruitment um, numbers. They can't they can't operate with a skeleton crew and take care of the calls that they really, really need to take care of. What Black Lives Matter and Antifa are doing is taking up all of the police's time. And those calls for a rapey or a burglary or something of that nature, those calls are not going to be priority because Black Lives Matter and Antifa have been burning the city down for an entire year, busting out every single window in the downtown area. And now Ted Wheeler wants your help when you know that if you go against Black Lives Matter and Antifa, they will come to your house and they will do harm to you and your family. This is getting just plumb out of control at this point. But I wanted to talk about a guy that I met about a year ago. His name's Mike. You might know him from Laughing at Liberals, and this is how they prosecute cases in Portland. So Mike's a journalist, and he goes to these used to go to these Antifa rallies. He was physically harmed one time so bad that he literally shattered his arm and had to have his arm rebuilt because the guy just picked him up and threw him on the ground and shattered his arm. He spent a bunch of time, getting surgeries and everything else. And then when he was good enough to go out and do his journalism gig again, the same people, about 10 of them, came after him. There were seven, because of the videos, there were 7 people that actually assaulted him. And when he pulled out his concealed weapon, his legal concealed weapon, because he has a concealed weapons permit per the state of Oregon, not hard to get, but he needed to protect himself. They arrested him, charged him with felonies, and his case is now going to the state Supreme Court. I've been following this case for the last year now, and I'm going to probably do a separate segment on that story because it's really interesting how the Portland DA prosecutes cases. If it's Black Lives Matter and Antifa, no matter what they do, they're let out. It's a revolving door. The police put them in, the DA lets them out. But if you, an average citizen, if you have to defend yourself from Black Lives Matter or Antifa, he didn't even get a shot off. He just brandished the weapon. That's all he did. Perfectly legal in the state of Oregon. We have open carry laws, we have concealed carry laws, and if 7 people are beating on you, you probably have a pretty good case to be made that it was self-defense. Just saying. But yeah, go over to Laughing at Liberals. He chronicles this entire he chronicles this entire situation and all of the court cases and everything. And I would suggest, because he's got it right there on his channel, um, I would suggest that you give him a little bit of money because he needs it. He needs it. These cases are very expensive to. And he's done a really, really good job um, striking a balance between showing what's going on, not putting himself in danger, and raising the money so that we can out these people for exactly what they are, which is hypocrites. They're hypocrites. Please go over to Laughing at Liberals, make a donation, whatever it is, $5, something like that, because he really needs your help. He really, really needs your help raising the money to show the utter hypocrisy of the left. That's all I have for you guys right now. I want you guys to have a good day. Stay safe, Portland, and please, dear God, vote for a Republican next time. The problem with Ted Wheeler was that he had a crazy, insane Black Lives Matter activist running against him. The people of Portland spoke, said they didn't want it, but they're still allowing the mayor of Portland to go against the police. We have the DA in that city that has a revolving door. If you're Black Lives Matter and Antifa, you're going to get walked right back out the door, go back to protesting, have a nice day. It doesn't matter what you burn, doesn't matter who you beat, doesn't matter how many cars you stand in front of. It doesn't matter how many windows you break out of those cars. And if you ever decide that you're going to drive away from that particular situation, they will call the police on you, and the police will come and arrest you. Anyway, you all have a good day, and I will see you in a little bit.